the biggest story in world football now is Papa, my friend Hans Flick, we're losing a Juma as Germany for manager. Danny, the results under Hansi Flick hasn't been the best. Especially if you want to give it contest, then you would go back to the last World Cup at Germany, boy. In the group of Costa Rica, Spain, Japan, and no more Germany, no. Bad results. They were able to beat Costa Rica, lost to Japan, and then drew with Spain. Now it is what happened in game and a bigger problem. All of our games since Hansi Flick took the job as Germany for manager, no, one of the things he has been accused of, and he said, "Oh, you're too pragmatic as a coach." But the ocean days at Bayern, Hansi Flick wasn't so pragmatic. In fact, a lot of the times at Bayern, when they won that sextuplet in a calendar year, he was playing a lot of free-flowing football, something that ain't accustomed with what the Germans will play. From the times I needed Germany, especially since 2006. Everybody that speaks about the German game will tell you a simple phrase, German machine. And it is simple. Almost a short manner. They expect the players to take instructions and play to certain patterns strictly. So if you go back and look at recent results against Poland, almost lose by 1-0. They played against Colombia, lost by 2-0. These friendlies were supposed to give Hansi Flick use a lot of formations to know how he can change from the German way and get a particular way of playing with the current crop of players. And then after Somolusu to Japan by 4-1, Japan will World Cup. As I said, the DFB team as a message about saying no, Hansi Flick and your manager are the next year Euros 2024. And a big blow for German football. But in my personal analysis, I think that it goes beyond just Hansi Flick or just a manager. Now, on me to Thomas Tuchel, highly unlikely, but mentioning of names, Thomas Tuchel, German, most of the times they will most likely go for a German. Thomas Tuchel, Jurgen Klopp, also you're ready. Maybe they can bring in an interim now. There is Oliver Glasner. There is former Netherlands coach El Honum, former Manchester United coach Louis van Gaal, Dean Abem, Volley, a lot of the names, especially German managers, Edin El Honum. But my opinion is that Saubekaya, in Germany's preparation to the 2006 World Cup, and some year in they said before that World Cup, Germany put up a particular learning structure, some person police players to play in a particular way of the game.
And when I come baby house, and you're almost system now we develop here, and now for because and your hands are flicking.
Yeah.
Joaquin Love, or the same thing that happened. And they don't project.
I think that's the issue. I think that the kind of players that they produce at that time have faded out. So in those days, you regularly see a German way of playing, and yet necessarily the Johan Cruyff way of playing of 4-3-3 positional playing. But 4-3-3, not automated, but a much more mechanical way. It is a way a sixer. Where you stay in a particular zone and play the game strictly as a six. No innovation in the German way of playing the 4-3-3 on almost every other formation. Much more pragmatic, right? And also those times now, the players that they were able to produce, key amongst them will be to say Toni Kroos. Toni Kroos has retired for the German national team. And even in the last World Cup and the World Cup before, they suffered with Toni Kroos. The roles that you expect Toni Kroos to play in the German national team, because one, they are not playing the system that he used to play in. Time and on near mainstay, time and on about the 2006 World Cup and the likes. They didn't thrive. In Tubekaya, against Sweden also, they struggled in the World Cup before. The last World Cup, Tony wasn't there, and then he failed. He had to go into a quick retirement of international football. That is just Toni Kroos. Now, there is somebody like Philipp Lahm. Since Philipp Lahm faded out as the right back of the Gemeinschaft, who has been the proper right back of the team? There isn't anybody like that. Kimmich is not the right back. Someone about Kimmich or right backer. Then they suffer to get people in the middle of the park as DMs. Goretzka signed international break. He's still with Bayern. He didn't go with them. Emre Can is also not part of the team. So if you play Kimmich in the middle of the park, then you suffer. You go back and play Kimmich at right back, then you suffer with Fiifi-Manfred. So about Kimmich on Fiifi-Manfred, but who know be about right back again after Philipp Lahm left. So huge problems for Germany for systems, even what they did in the years past. And I know if there's any country that's very critical of Omomo in terms of football development, Germany is one of them. They will go back and look at it. But so when you're a football fan, my analysis is that I don't think it's necessarily about Hansi Flick Awasa. Yes, results in it, but it goes more than him. For a manager to go to Bayern and win a sextuplet, you don't just say Wasa. Things are not going well. Mesut Ozil was chastised by Germany for lose almost over a Turkish German. So Bobo na said Fadi or Germany he had to go into a quick retirement from German football. But the flamboyant, skillful number 10 and anchor or pick in between the lines for Germany, they failed to replace him. The closest who has come to him, Jamal Musiala. Number 10 is more, you can mention Thomas Muller, you can mention Kai Havertz, who will be in the exact position that he can play in, or Jamal Musiala. Kai Havertz sometimes has played as a false nine for Germany. And in fact, Musiala is close to him in terms of how space is near Juma Baye as a player. But then really, who has replaced the end product of Ozil? I didn't know Germany national team. No, it's part of the reasons why they are suffering. Ike Gunian last of that bunch, and on the he may retire. He's not a captain of the side. So who said at Manchester City, c'est Pep SSN 4-3-3 now. Ike Gunian will play more like a number 10 or an extra 10. Why Kevin De Bruyne was so if someone bomb with double 10s now, Kevin De Bruyne and Ike Gunian close to a position box. Now he goes to play for Germany. They have Thomas Muller. They have Jamal Musiala. They have Kai Havertz in the same zone. You don't get the best out of Ike Gunian. And it is because of the kind of players like Germany for a producer, and it's a big deal for them. Yeah, a man here worrying, he said, you can't produce any set of player from now to the next Euros.
And he memo to us all.
Yeah.
Sisiana, the issue is say Omuri develop tactics. Yeah. 50 players no more. And now say, yeah, because I don't need issue. Yeah,
so now Germany for a young manager. The kind of players we can see and then look for a particular pattern to get into play. In my opinion, in my personal analysis, if you look at this Germany team, one of the best formations that may suit them, as Thomas took a 4-2-2-2, no, or in a 4-2-3-1. So one of the biggest issues of Hansi Flick when he was their manager was that he constantly prioritized playing Kai Havertz as a false nine instead of playing Obitsebi at 4 o'clock as a proper number 9 or an out-and-out number 9. Again in the World Cup, Thomas Muller again played as a number 9 instead of 4 o'clock. Muller is not an exceptional number 9. He's not a number 9 who goes in a game like that. You need an out-and-out striker. So those are part of the reasons. It's about decision making. Yes, Hansi Flick, FLE, he has to go. But the bigger picture of German football may go beyond just one manager. Tuchel will not get to do the job. A coach, a wonderful in-game manager, and can use the materials to give Germany what they want. Maybe Thomas Tuchel, but it will be almost impossible for Bayern to let Tuchel go and do the job. Germany and Liverpool are not ready to let the club go. One day, when you say club, one day will be the manager of the Diamond Shaft. But I know now, one of the early names has been Nagelsmann.
Yeah. Yes, so some concern to the DMP. And upon you story and I'm saying, need a Rafa Benitez, only Yosimorina.
So Nagelsmann, you see, I know say one day Nagelsmann will be German national team manager. I don't know if the time is now. Like he's young. The German team are in a transition. Already, or Chelsea or interview for the job. One year German because when say you're too clear for him as a success for the next stage of his career. He went to Paris Saint-Germain. Again, he believes that the politics of Paris Saint-Germain wasn't what he needed for the next stage of his career again. Now, the German job is there and Nadine Abenim. I don't know if Nagelsmann will take it. But if you want one of the smart managers who can manage the German team, then definitely Nagelsmann is one of the people that you would want to go to El Honum. So that is the issue with Nagelsmann and in Germany. Now, just to end on that and move forward, averagely the number of players that Hansi Flick Alfred our Germany national team, the kind of players that he calls. Jose Mikacho said he could be playing 4 o'clock at number 9, but he always opts against playing 4 o'clock. No Akobo can have it rather as a false number 9. Jamal Musiala probably can play as an inside number 10 most of the times. There's Serge Gnabry also in the team. Leroy Sani Bohonum. A lot of the times he's not fielding Leroy. Now in the middle of the park, this is where big problem. Leon Goretzka can play as a number 8. Kimmich can also play as an 8. Most of the time, so about Kimmich or man, it means at right back. Either so about Nicolas Sule, Hendricks or Kerr. Still okay and you play at Germany for you're confident about in that regard. So it's about how they manage middle of the park home. At centre back, there's Rudiger, there's Slotterbeck, there's Malik Thiaw, there's Nicolas Sule, Amir Bella-Kotchap, and against that. These are, I mean, they have quality. Oh, hold on. So these are your natural centre backs in Germany were in those days. Neuer Eric can need to full-time recovery. There's Marc-André ter Stegen, Gessens, Ganta, and Ram at left back. So Germany have the materials for next year, 2024. They need a manager to make a good use of what they have now, and then going for it, they have to change something in terms of player. All of these centre backs in here are rigid, non-technical centre backs. Even in the middle of the park, if you take Kimmich, he is not as technical as Gundogan, and neither of them is as technical. Again, Müller is not your most technical number 10. Julian Brandt is close to that, but they need technical players and versatile players that to make taking risks or partners so to make sure Germany go back to the success game. Yes, area. It's going to be a long journey for Germany for no anyone. Maybe your updates, Kakra. Now, I don't know. Chelsea and Bones.
Maboka. Just a boka to players, baby. And this is quite so the players plan no mupra.
Trouble. And our injury updates now. That's where we are starting from today. So before we went for the international break, Benoit Badiashile injury, Nkuku, Romeo Lavia, Armando Broja, Rhys James, Wesley Fofana, and Kani Chukwuemeka. Now the update is that for Benoit Badiashile, Armando Broja, any Abrante friend Rhys James, they're most likely right after the international break, they will get back into the team. Now, Enrich, make a cheer Rich say, players no man call for international break, no more year training. Oh, then all of a sudden there was a tackle on Romeo Lavia. And I chose for no, I said, nah, yet to your boss near access Romeo Lavia to see if truly he's injured and I say just a scare. Gabi, and no man could trust can there's a ligament issue on Romeo Lavia ankle. And there is a possibility of Romeo Lavia and Bobo match Chelsea for the next 6 weeks. Next 6 weeks, Romeo Lavia is going to be out. Some of the games have also Arsenal match Bournemouth match the host of the games are Romeo Lavia is not going to play. But for Benoit Badiashile and Abrante Feno, Armando Broja, right after the international break, they will be coming back to Chelsea. Now,
Chelsea, Ovimbo, Maboka, the idea.
See, a prior part of it, man.
There be na Nkuku wepra, Romeo Lavia, Onozuba or more bought wepra.
No, but a prior part of it, man.
I can't now be.
But say over anything. Sometimes, as a player or as a sports person, these things happen. No, I say me I'm a tiger, but I don't say nipa create me trash you. It's one of the least things that will happen. My only hope they say, if there is something that goes beyond just a prano mupra or just they just being unlucky, they need to look at it. If it's about the extra psychological and physical stress of players, so they should be careful. Time of Mauricio Pochettino by. We all heard said there is something they call a Garson test. Our players do a huge physical drills no cover for them to be physically fit. I don't know if that can be a physical stress on the players. And then some of them play, but even if that's the case, Armando Broja was not part of the team that went for preseason. Same for Benoit Badiashile. Omunya Pride out of the group. So if there is a reason or there's an issue, then that has to be looked at. But I think that Gabi, social Chelsea team now. Romeo Lavia and Yedene buy some combo as a number 6 purely for Chelsea football.
Oh yeah, now what do you see?
Great. Unlike Yedene buy some combo as a purely number 6 in the first line, on receiving ball and on progressive for Chelsea. But on Timmy Moy, say that now work on. Chelsea have tried Enzo Fernandez on number 6 on him last season. I said that fast. Moises Caicedo, he's not so comfortable as first line on him. He can play as part of the double 6 on him, but not to receive the ball. Same for Conor Gallagher. Gallagher has been a little bit okay, Kaka. Now, you see, it means he said, it looks as if the opportunity now by to branch a friend, Leslie Ogochukwu. Because Gallagher really hasn't really played well. Now, same for Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea will need somebody comfortable in receiving the ball in that zone and progressing forward. in my opinion, opportunity now better man. And I think that Mauricio Pochettino should give him the chance to play in there. Yes, he has come for the French league. Only too much of an experience or English Premier League no there. But a few times that Chelsea fans have seen Leslie Ogochukwu play in the field of play, he has played well. So maybe if you give him the chance now, he will be able to play well for Chelsea Football Club, and maybe it's going to be very important. And
yeah. Now, Oka, Germany as a beginner, Timba, my negotiation Chelsea. I come and say, the same problem now.
Yeah.
More players, no smooth coach, obey me, active players.
But I think that Pochettino is right, man. The Chelsea project is there. It just started, Gabi.
Okay.
The numbers see it will work. We'll come back here and we'll speak about the project. It will work. Okay. It will work. Now, who are there? I was a little bit worried. And I don't know what Chelsea fans want edging about it. But say me be so Ivan Toney, Oli Watkins, and Benjamin Sesko. Apparently, we say Armando Broja is injured. Chelsea are prioritizing a long-term fitness. They fear say someone Shenina, someone Russia, Armando Broja. Ebia injury be recurring. And Ebia so Barcelona and Kuya, they would want to replace him with somebody else. Now, there's a short list of strikers that Chelsea have looked at. Ivan Toney, some 6 months ban, Brentford. In January, Nobel Kenny, Oli Watkins, Everton, then Benjamin Sesko from Salzburg. I'm a personal level of a Brentford friend, Benjamin Sesko. Honum. So he's in the team, he gives you that goal, no, any check. I don't know if Chelsea will want to buy. Chelsea will only go onto the market to buy a striker if a Brentford friend, Armando Broja, I'm far with respect to the health issues and in the injury, So we wait to see January.